with the Christmas message, Bishop Robert McGuckin, Catholic Bishop for the Diocese of Toowoomba.
Well, it's hard to believe that we're December, and in fact it's coming to a close. And I suppose it's a time of the year when we perhaps are looking forward rather than looking back, but it is a time when we can look back too. And it's been perhaps a difficult year in some ways, with various disruptions caused by the COVID-19 and the various restrictions that have been placed upon us. But it's something that we have lived through and will continue to have to live through, with perhaps varying restrictions from time to time. There's been disruptions because we may have wanted to go and visit certain people in other states and have been able to do that. But we have to give thanks for the well-being that we are able to enjoy. It's also a time when we reflect on that perhaps the message of Christmas is one where it was a journey for Joseph and Mary, not an easy journey too, and I suppose it might cause us to not complain so much. So they had difficulty finding accommodation, and I know at times it is difficult for people to find accommodation, but and we have to reflect that most of us are fairly fortunate and able to be fairly reasonably accommodated. But it's a time of the year when we indeed give thanks, but when we also perhaps have to look at people who are in somewhat need. So amid all our Christmas shopping and presents that we might be getting for people, let's also spare a thought and perhaps make some donation to a charity, Vinnie's or the like, some charity that you might have. Indeed, shopping's a very interesting thing, and school holidays are on us now, and I suppose most of us perhaps are avoiding the shopping centres, trying to find a parking spot and the like. And with the COVID restrictions, I suppose tempers might get a little bit on edge, but let's be kind and caring to those who are trying to serve us in shops. And then as we gather at Christmas, it's a time of gathering, may it be also a time of fellowship when we are able to get together with some family and friends and indeed share that welcoming peace and joy that Christmas is meant to bring. We need hope, and I think in this time particularly, the hope that Jesus brings us is very important to not only receive but also to share with others, to share peace, to share goodwill, to share joy with our neighbours and with people we don't even know when we might meet them passing in the streets or wherever we might be. So my wish is that we all share in this fellowship. We may have different faiths, but let us see that we are that common humanity that we have, that we indeed respect the rights of other people. And we have to also see at times that we have to perhaps give way to our own rights when we have to consider other people and the common good in which the community in which we live. It certainly calls for generosity, and may that generosity be something that we indeed see that we are called upon to share. So perhaps at this time I'm very happy to reflect on the wonderful things that are present in our community, that we are a caring community, that hopefully we are living in peace and harmony, but it's also something that we can't take for granted. May we continue in this part of the world that we have been very fortunate this year that we might share that peace and goodwill with everyone in our community, regardless of their faith, their creed or whatever. So I wish your families peace and joy of Christmas and God's blessing upon you and your loved ones now and in for 2022. And perhaps we don't know what's ahead of us, but let us see that we are journeying together, we support each other, and how thankful we can be because of that. May God bless all of you. Thank you.
That was Bishop Robert McGuckin, Catholic Bishop for the Diocese of Toowoomba.